Josh open up for his opening remarks, and then we'll have a special guest make a quick, brief statement, and then we'll open it up for questions for Josh and Deion.
Yeah, thanks, Rocco. Thanks, everybody, for joining us here today. And, as everybody knows, our previous head coach, Scott Satterfield, has accepted the head coaching position at the University of Cincinnati. We're grateful for Scott, his dedication to our program, and wish him and his family well as they move on to the University of Cincinnati. I think I just want to say that this is, in my mind, a great opportunity for us to find the next leader of this football program. I think this is one of the better jobs in the country, and we are going to do everything we can to find the best leader for this football program that will work well with the department, the university, the community. I would tell you that our search for a new head coach has already begun. I can tell you that, I think I'm prepared, or as prepared as I can be, to make sure that we find a really, really good leader for this football program. And so that's what I have started to do and will continue to do till we find that person. In the interim, I am going to name Deion Branch as our head coach to get us through the bowl game. I don't think he is planning on doing this long term. Unless he tells me something different, I don't anticipate him being a candidate for this job permanently. His wife has actually told me that is not an option. Her exact text was, "You can have him for 2 weeks." And but all kidding aside, I do want to speak to that. For me, it was who could be dedicated to the guys in the locker room unequivocally for the next 2 weeks. And while there is a very good staff, and we have, to me, some very good assistant coaches, I think the one guy that could, without a doubt, give every minute over the next 2 weeks to the guys in that locker room, that was Deion. Fortunately, he's in a position where he doesn't have to worry about what his future looks like. Those 10 assistants, they do have to worry about that. And so I thought this was the right decision to make here, and so that's the decision we made, and Deion and I talked about it this morning. And so with that, I'll turn it over to him, have him say a few remarks, and then open it up for questions. Thanks.
Thank you, Josh. Thank you all for coming. And, well, first of all, let's just say this. I am super grateful, super thankful for the opportunity to represent the University of Louisville, my university. This means so much to me. When Josh gave me the phone call, trust me, I was super overwhelmed with being just the thought of Josh and the entire staff, his entire committee, them thinking of me to actually hold this position down. Me personally, I deal with these young men on a daily basis. I know exactly what these guys are going through on a day-to-day basis, and I understand. And like I told Josh, this is a tough decision for myself because we have 10 coaches that are super qualified for the opportunity to be in this position, and it speaks volumes for Josh and the staff to actually select me to do this, and I'm super grateful for that, Josh. But I'm more importantly, way more grateful to go out and lead this man on the field for the bowl game. And I think that's enough for me because this right here is over my head right now. One thing I am going to be super excited about is sitting in Coach Satterfield's chair. So I think that is going to be great. The fact that Janelle Smith was one of those guys, my head coach, a guy who I love dearly, sat in that chair, and I think I'm super honored to just be a part of that, to actually be the guy to sit in that chair as well. But I don't have anything else to say. I'm super thankful, super honored just to be here, and I can't wait to hear what you guys got to ask because I don't have any answers really.
First of all, for Josh, this is from the AP. Will you talk to anyone on the current staff that if they stay, will they be obviously looked at as a head coach?
I've started to go through that list, and I don't anticipate anybody on our current staff being in a position to potentially be the head coach here.
And how do you sell this program to a coach and make it a destination rather than even just a dropping off point or a stepping stone to another big job? How do you sell that, Josh?
I think I talk about what this program is and what it can be, what it has been, quite honestly. I don't want the University of Louisville to take a backseat to anybody, and that's my expectation. I truly believe that this can be one of the best programs in the country. Are we there today? No, we're not there today. But I anticipate, and I'm going to do everything I can. I'm not going to sleep till we find somebody who, at least in my mind, wants to be here for a long time. I think that's really, really important for me. I think programs are built on continuity, and in order to create that continuity, you have to have a leader who wants to be here for a long time. So that's going to be an important part of any of the conversations I have.
For both of you, I guess, have you met with the team? What did you kind of tell those guys? And what happens the rest between now and the bowl game? Because there's so many moving parts with recruiting, and I know the staff is out on the road. Do you pull those guys back or keep them recruiting?
Yeah, I've start with the current team and met with as many of them that were available here at 1 o'clock. And it was a fairly brief conversation. Obviously told them that Deion was going to be serving as their head coach for the next couple of weeks, and told them the information that I had as far as Scott going to Cincinnati, which is not a whole lot, to be honest. And just told him to hang in there with us, and told him to have some trust and faith and patience in me, to find them a really good football coach and a really good leader. And so that's what we're going to try to do. As far as the staff goes, I think, and it goes back to why this decision was made. They've got to worry about their families. They've got to worry about themselves, and that should be priority number one for them. And so that's what they're going to do. And so having those conversations somewhat individually as far as where they are and when they're coming back and things like that.
Yeah, Josh, when did you first learn that this was a possibility that Scott would go to Cincinnati, and were there any conversations with him about extending or enhancing his contract?
Yeah, Scott and I have had a couple of longer conversations. The first one the week, I guess the Sunday after the UK game. And that was just what we do every year, just sit down and talk about the program. And then we had another one on Saturday, and once again just tried to talk through things, where he thought the program was, where I thought the program was. Found out later that evening that there was an interest there, a mutual interest between Cincinnati and Scott, and then found out earlier this morning that he had accepted that position.
Was there any discussion on the contract extension or enhancement?
There wasn't today. Scott and I had talked about, like I said, just some things relative to the program, but I'm not going to get into specifics as far as what we talked about. At the end of the day, he thought he thought going to Cincinnati was the best opportunity for him and his family, and so now it's our job, it's my job to make sure that we find a really qualified leader to lead this program.
How much pressure do you feel with all these deadlines so close? I mean, not just transfer portal stuff, but also one of the best recruiting classes this program's ever had.
Yeah, I think I operate with a sense of urgency no matter what I'm doing, and so that sure isn't going to change. I'm going to do everything I can to find a football coach here as quickly as we can, but we're not going to make some knee-jerk decision because we think we have a deadline to meet. I'm confident in what this university presents as far as football, as far as a university, as far as academics, as far as a community, and so we're gonna do our due diligence and make the right decision here.
One follow-up. So the elephant in the room, so to speak, is Jeff Brom. How do you deal? I know you can't probably talk specifics, but the kind of person you're looking for. You touched on, wanting somebody here who wants to be here for a long time. What are some of the other core characteristics of a person who you see in this job next?
Yeah, as I say, maybe I'm a little jaded after spending a handful of years with Jay Wright, but I'm convinced that you can be a really good person, do everything with the utmost integrity, and still win a whole lot of, in this case, football games, in Jay's case, basketball games. And so that's going to be priority number one, is just making sure we have somebody that unequivocally wakes up every day and does the right thing. I'm confident that there's those out there that do it the right way and can also win a lot of football games. And so that's what we're going to shoot for. We're going to shoot for somebody who really, really cares about the young men in that locker room. That's extremely important to me. That's exactly what I told them, going back to just guys have a little faith and patience and trust in me. And I think that they have a good enough relationship with me to give me that. And, from there, it's somebody that at the end of the day can put an exciting product on the field. That's important. There's a 60,000 seat football stadium out there for a reason. And so we've got to try to do what we can to fill it up and have people watch our program.
Josh, you've had kind of an interesting first year as an AD. First, you have to fill the men's basketball coaching job, and now this. How do you, pull from that coaching search and that experience into this one?
Yeah, I think it's just experiences in life as a whole. And if you're not learning when you're going through any process, then you're not doing something right. So we'll take the good and the bad from that search, and lean on the 15 years that I've had as an administrator, and be confident in the decision we're going to make here.
Do you plan to use a search firm, and what's your expectation in terms of the current assistant coaches? Do you expect them to stay through the bowl game, or you think some of them will leave before then?
Answer the question around the search firm. I'm working through that right now. To be frank, I'm not 100% sure. If it provides a better opportunity for us to, vet the most qualified candidates, then that's what we'll do. As far as the assistant coaches that are here, I've had brief conversations with a couple of them, and I don't really know what they want to do. Those are conversations that we need to have, and I think Scott and I have a good enough relationship. That was the one thing that I asked of him this morning, is please be transparent and let me know what your thoughts are as far as assistants go, and he agreed to do that. And I think he wants to leave on the right foot here, and I know he'll do that, and that just being transparent about that's part of that. But I know that didn't really answer your question, but that's where we're at with the assistants.
With the recruiting class, do you reach out to try to keep that class together, or do you stay in communication with them? How does all that work?
It'll be all hands on deck. I think Deion's going to be a recruiter before he's a football coach.
Yeah.
No, it'll be anybody and everybody that can have a conversation with that group of young men, and explaining to them what the opportunities are here. I know this isn't always the case, but I think by and large they still commit to a program and a school as opposed to an individual. And there's a lot of things to like about this university and this program. And once again, I think we have to make sure they understand that we're going to make a really good decision in the future of this program.
Josh, Fred kind of alluded to it, but Jeff Brom is a name that everybody talks about. Do you anticipate reaching out and seeing if he'd be interested in this job?
Yeah, Jeff just played for a conference championship in the Big Ten. I would tell you anybody that played on Saturday in a conference championship game is going to be on a list of people that I would want to look at. They're competing at the highest level. And so I would tell you I don't know Jeff personally. And so to comment on whether or not he would be a candidate, I can't do that right now.
Deion, you had such a career, all these highlights, but to think back to when you got here as a player, to be sitting in that chair right now, even for just a bowl game or whatever,
Yeah.
that just the series of events and how it feels to be sitting back here now.
Oh yeah, that's the beauty in it. I think overall, let's just go back to January. Josh reached out and offered the job, the player development job. I didn't anticipate this leading into an interim head coach position. I think this is crazy. But but more importantly, I think the time that I've been here and the moments that I've shared with these young men in the locker room, that's the most important piece. I think that it was a no-brainer at first. Like I said, I was overwhelmed at first when Josh called and said what he said about it. But initially, I just started thinking about the guys in the locker room. The guys in the locker room. I started thinking about the city. I know what this means to the city. Just me coming back, having the opportunity to be the player development guy. The entire city was in an uproar, and now I can't imagine what the thoughts or what they're going to be believing now. Like, no, I'm not going to be the head coach, okay? This is just more so me just wanting to lead these young men out on the football field. We have a bowl game, and the main objective is to go win the game. You know, we're not just going out there just to play the game just because, but we're going to win the game.
Deion, it's happened so recently. I don't know how much time you've had to process this, but do you have an idea how you will structure things over the next couple of weeks and what game day will be? Will you call the plays? How are you going to delegate?
I wish. You're right.
He's trying to get to 3 o'clock.
I know. Man. This was like, 2 hours ago? You know, and I cried for about an hour and a half. So I'm telling you, no, I don't have none of that. Just having an opportunity. Josh reached out. Hey, can you be here by 2? I'm like, yeah, what's going on? I'm naming the interim head coach. I'm like, you got to be kidding me. So, but no time to do all that. No structuring. I think, like I said, the beauty in it, you know, Josh and I don't know anything. The amount of coaches that we have that was at Coach Satterfield's disposal. He had a great group of assistants. Those guys are going to do an amazing job. I'm just here. They will do an amazing job, I promise you. Like I said, the main thing is to go out and win the game. But trust me, it's not just me. I'm surrounded by amazing assistant coaches, amazing guys, and they will do a great job for this bowl prep.
Deion, you kind of alluded to it. Your relationship with the guys this year,
yep.
and how that's built since July or August, whenever you kind of came on.
Yep.
What can you kind of put into words how it's been with this team, and then as a follow-up, will you call John L., get some advice a little bit?
Well, just speaking of the young man that's in the locker room, it was great. It's been amazing. It's been everything that I thought of. There were some moments that made me question some of the things in a good way, but overall, it's been amazing. Me just giving these guys all the resources that I have to give to them, you know, and spending the days and seeing these guys go through the blood, sweat, and tears that they go out on the football field, me having the understanding of what they're going through, sharing those intimate 45, 50-minute conversations with these guys outside of the game of football. That's the most important piece, you know, especially for myself. That's why I took this role. That's why I was so grateful and thankful that Josh extended the job offer to me. But me personally, reaching back, trust me, I'm calling every coach that I know just to get any little tad bit of advice. And Deion Sanders will be the first one I call. You know, I guess he spearheaded, he was hired 2-3 days ago? And now I get an interim head coaching position. This is great for all the Deions. All the Deions. All the Deions in today's world, man. This is going to be amazing for the rest of the young men. So, but John L. will be someone who I will call. And it is nothing. I think more so, I'm pretty sure he'll probably call me first before I get a chance to call him, but having the opportunity just to speak to him on that level. Look, I'm not a head coach, you know, but I know one thing, I can lead guys, and that's one thing that I will do. I will give this team everything I have, give these young men, continue to give that to them, you know, and pray and hope that we can give this city a victory.
3 more.
Josh, I don't know. We probably touched around this question, but I don't know if we asked it straight up, and if we did, I'm sorry. A million things, but I know you don't have a deadline for yourself in these situations. Do you have a time frame? Do you have something in mind that you'd like to do as far as getting something?
You know, and you can say that not really going to answer the question here, Eric, but as soon as possible. And I mean, I'm going to work day and night because it's. I mean, this is one of the most, if not the most important positions in our athletic department, quite honestly, on our campus. And so I will work tirelessly. You know, I thought going back to Saturday night, you know, that, hey, this is the potential's there. And I you know, I haven't slept since then. I took a little break yesterday and but we're going to work till I name a head coach, and I don't know how long that's going to take.
Sorry. Will Cincinnati or Scott have to pay you back? Are there buyouts involved where you actually get money? And what kind of money is that, presuming there is?
I believe there is. I haven't looked at his contract specifically, but I know that there was a significant buyout relative to the remaining years on his contract, but I haven't even had a chance to look at that.
Gotcha. But it's found money for you guys, and that, from that standpoint.
Correct.
So the modern day, what the market will bear, I mean, stuff like $6 million is being thrown around. Is Louisville able to, with all the challenges it's had in modern times financially, is it able to compete in that level financially?
Yeah, I think I am confident that we can go get the coach that we need to get. Can we pay 8, 9, 10 million a year? No. But I think this university, this department has shown that we don't have to be at the top of the spectrum to be competing with the very best in the country.
Deion, has it dawned on you how ironic it is that you're getting this opportunity and your first coaching job will be in Boston?
I know. How crazy is that, right? Yeah, Josh spoke about that, and just speaking of, you and I was working together 2-3 years ago, and now here I am sitting here. But yeah, having the opportunity just to go back, just to be a part of this, whether it be like my mom and my stepmom said, Deion, just embrace it, enjoy it, have fun. The same thing my wife, my kids. When Josh called me, my daughter was in the car, I had her on the speakerphone. She's texting, and he's offering a interim head coaching position. And she just smiling. I'm like, she just understand the strenuous schedule that these guys have. And like, Daddy just won't be around as much for these next 2 weeks, but she's super excited. My wife, my kids, everybody, my family, all of my friends. I can't imagine, but it hasn't dawned on me yet. I've been through a lot of things. I've been a part of a lot of successful things in life, and I'm just super thankful and grateful for the opportunity just to be here, just to represent the university, represent the city, and to represent these young men, just to send them out on top. That's the most important part for me.